Hi loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your Chiron conjunct with someone's south node in Synastry or vice versa. So the south node in Synastry or in our own natal chart shows our karmic past. It shows our habitual natural responses that we have been in past lives, and in this present life it's like a mode of expression that is just really natural for us, and we can actually end up using it as a foundation to go towards our north node, which is like our destiny point. Now Chiron in the natal chart shows this wound and pain that we all carry, but once we bring awareness to it, it becomes one of our gifts and like a big part of our healing mission. So when Chiron is conjunct with someone's south node in Synastry, this feels like ancient pain being stirred with this placement. This is a powerful connection. This is a karmic connection, and I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way, although it can definitely manifest in a negative way. It doesn't have to, but this relationship is definitely a past life relationship. There has been some kind of connection there, and it can feel incredibly heavy and bonding because we're actually very similar with this placement, although the Chiron person can be very jealous or unnecessarily hateful, even. I've seen it like that towards the south node person. For the south node person just being who they are naturally, and a little bit of their karmic self, you know, a little bit like I think people who are really in their south node, they're sometimes operating more from their lower self rather than their higher self, but they're doing it unconsciously. They're not doing it on purpose to hurt anyone, but the Chiron person can be just so triggered at the south node person and calling them, you know, a bad person, or I'll just be just fuming at them. I've seen it like this. Maybe there's other things going on, but you know, I'd love to know your guys' experiences about this as well. I'm talking about my personal experiences of this placement. I've been on both sides of this placement many times. So yeah, the Chiron person, depending on where they're at with their own Chiron, right, they can be very triggered by the south node person. Now that's going to be if they're lacking in awareness of their own Chiron wound. They can really project onto the south node person everything that's wrong with that sign and with that energy of their own Chiron. So it's actually like they really are projecting on to the south node person all that they've disassociated from and what they actually need to reintegrate in order to heal. Okay, these parts of themselves that they need to reintegrate to really be the healed version of their Chiron, the version of their Chiron that's actually on their mission and you know, activated in these gifts. But often they can actually do the opposite and really look at the south node person in a super negative way, and a lot of projection onto them. So now talking about like the more higher manifestation of this, because there's always both. They can really be comfortable with each other and really be like easy to get along and easy to understand each other because they are very similar. And the south node person has a lot of advice for the Chiron person, and the Chiron person can really actually look up to the south node person and be like, wow, you know, this is a person that can really help me in dealing with this wound that I have. And it can feel like when you're coming at it from that energy where you're like, wow, this person can really help me, it can feel very healing. So this can actually be, and I've had it like this, like I've had clients on both sides of this actually where, so like it can be like a healer client relationship And that's perhaps the best use of it, really, actually. Maybe. Like, well, I mean, if you guys in a romantic relationship with this would like to share, I'd love to hear that. But it definitely works well for that kind of relationship. And even if you're in a romantic relationship, there sometimes can be that element of like teacher student or healer and client. And I mean, on the lower end, it could be like victim savior, right? But it doesn't have to be. It just really depends on, you know, where the people are at with their South Node and with their Chiron. Now, usually the South Node person is going to be a lot more natural in that mode of expression, and actually maybe, yeah, like I said earlier, expressing some of the negative qualities of that sign that can sometimes be characteristic of the South Node, where we can get stuck in that lower energy of the sign. But that's just one side of it. We can also really be gifted in that energy. And the South Node is not to be shamed. It's actually such a powerful part of us. It's like our foundation. It's like this place where we can really be rock solid and natural and gifted with that energy, right? So that can be really healing for the Chiron person to see, right? Like, it can be amazing. Like, the Chiron person can be like, wow, look at this work of art of a person, you know? So it can be like that, or like I stated at the beginning, it can be that whole other thing, right? But definitely with this relationship, it is some type of karmic thing, some type of past life thing. It's very powerful. It's very emotional as well, because we've got the past energy of the person, the habitual energy of the person, the South Node lining up with the Chiron, that wound that needs to be healed. So it's definitely not like usually like a neutral association. It's emotional, and, you know, depending on where the people are at, what emotions it is going to be stirred, but something is going to be stirred. And I would really, you know, allow yourself to meditate on maybe any potential past lives that you have had with this person. Allow yourself to get quiet and really allow your soul to give you the clarity on what you are learning from this, because you are definitely learning something. And whether it's going to be just, you know, a shorter association or a lifetime one is not super relevant here. It's more relevant on, are the lessons being learned? And so by meditating on it, meditating on the sign of your South Node and of your Chiron, and the energy that this conjunction is taking place, can really be healing as well. And if you are the South Node person being heavily projected on by the Chiron person, you can just realize that that is their wounding speaking, and you aren't doing anything wrong. And maybe you can just, you know, bring awareness of, okay, well, where am I maybe being a little bit unbalanced in my South Node, right? Like, you can meditate on it a bit, but realize that, you know, for the most part, it's just a massive projection, because they're not dealing with their wound, right? So I hope that's not the case for you, but if it is, I've been there, and sending love. And yeah, this is a very healing connection. I feel like, you know, maybe one of the past life relationships it could have been is like, you could have been doing some type of healing work together, maybe doing some type of astrology work together, something, you know, like the nature of Chiron. So yeah, I hope this made some sense. I'd love to know your experiences of this aspect. I've had it a lot, and that's been my experience. So yeah, anyways, love you guys. I offer 2 types of sessions, astrology sessions. My links are below. I do a synastry session where we can do this kind of chart, and then I also do a natal chart session where I focus on soul purpose. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. Love you. Bye.